bringing you the latest Arizona high school football recruiting news year-round. This is the Recruiting Roundup on ProsToPreps.com.
It's a special edition of the Recruiting Roundup this week. Down on the far left, as always, is Jason Jewell. I'm Jared Cohen, and today we have some guest analysts to our set. Saguaro High School's Luke Rubenzer, quarterback, wide receiver Christian Kirk. They're going to join us on the Roundup today. And guys, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So, Luke, let's start with you. This summer, you decided to commit to Cal. New head coach Sonny Dykes. Talk about that commitment a little bit and what has you excited after high school.
Going into the visit up to Cal, it was just mostly Mountain West schools. Definitely was really interested in a lot of those, but after the trip to Cal and after they decided to pull the trigger and offer me, it was just a huge sigh of relief, and I had to commit just a few days after.
Now, Christian, you're only a junior. Let's talk about your recruitment because I know you have almost 20 offers right now. Talk about where you stand, how you see your recruitment going at this point in time.
As of right now, it's really just coming in contact with the coaches. I mean, until September 1st, I kind of have to do most of the recruiting by myself. I have to call them and see what's up with the schools that I'm really interested in. So basically, that's it for me right now.
What are some of those schools that you are interested in?
The most schools I talk to the schools that I talk to the most right now, UCLA, Cal, Texas A&M, ASU, Tennessee. Just some schools that I come in contact with the most and kind of have a good relationship with, and those are the schools I called recently.
Now, you guys have had a very busy summer, competed in all sorts of camps and passing leagues and things of that nature. A couple things that stood out, Luke, you were at Elite 11, you both were at the opening, correct? Can you guys talk about that experience and the things you picked up and the experiences you picked up in the offseason?
Just kind of like I tell everyone, the opening and the Elite 11 it's an unbelievable and extremely unique experience, and it's really something you can't get anywhere else. Just the coaches that they have there, they have Trent Dofer, Jordan Palmer. They had guests like Aaron Rodgers was out there for a day. So just the people that they have around that make the atmosphere something special is really something that you can't get anywhere else.
And definitely just what he said, just the coaches and the people that are around the place. It was amazing. I mean, especially at Nike headquarters, that's every football player's dream, being there. And they call it football heaven, and it actually was football heaven. And I think the coolest part for me was being around all the NFL guys that they had there. I mean, you could be eating lunch and you look over and Marshawn Lynch is just sitting next to you, or Richard Sherman, all those guys. They're all out there having fun and teaching us and showing some of their skills and stuff. So I think that was the coolest part for me.
I played college football, and I don't think a lot of people really understand the freak athletes that are running around out there. Who were some of the kids that you thought, man, that kid is a freak when you were at the opening, either you played with or you competed against?
Two kids on my team that really stood out. They're both like top-rated guys, but Malachi Dupree was one of my receivers. He was unbelievable. He'd go get any ball. His routes were just crisper than I've ever seen. And then a guy on defense, Dory Jackson. He's playing cornerback. He's a little bit smaller guy, but he was locking down kids that were 5 inches taller than him. And they're just unbelievable athletes.
I think for me, receiver on my side, Speedy Knoll, that kid is ridiculous. I'm pretty sure every person out there was just blown away by how fast he was and just the things he would do. A 5-yard out, you'd just be like, oh my goodness, did he really just do that? So I think that was a kid for me that really blew me away.
So let's talk from a recruitment standpoint. Let's start with you, Luke. What was a highlight or something that really stood out, kind of a unique story that you experienced, whether it was when you were visiting Cal or when dealing with Cal or any school for that matter?
Definitely, the most unique experience I had was definitely at Cal. And what they did, they took me up on top of their stadium. They just redid the whole stadium, all their facilities. They took me on top, and you just kind of look back over the bay, and you could just see everything. It was a foggy day, so I couldn't get any good pictures or anything, but you could see the Golden Gate Bridge, you could see Alcatraz Island, you could see really everything that there is to see, and I just thought it was really cool. And at that point, it was just kind of the Bay Area is where I want to be. And at that time, I had San Jose State, and if Cal didn't work out, then San Jose State was going to be right there, just because I just after that experience, I just kind of fell in love with the Bay Area.
And now, Christian, your 2015 prospect, you're going into your junior season, so your recruitment's not as far along, but coaches have reached out to you and talked to you. Has there been anything that they've said that have just really stood out, or something that's been kind of like an aha moment?
I think it's times when I've heard it from like a couple coaches when they joke around and say after Friday nights when we play, they want to fly me out and suit me up the next day and play for them. I mean, it makes me feel good that they want me and they believe that I could play for them the next day, but I think that those are the things that they said makes me feel good.
Sure.
So we've been talking recruiting now. Football camp has started this week.
sir.
So what can we expect from the Saguaro SaberCats?
Definitely. Everyone's talking about our explosive offense, and that's that. I mean, our defense definitely can get the job done. Our defense is going to be good, but our strong point this year is going to be our offense. I mean, our offensive line is looking great. Every one of our receivers is doing a great job out there, and once we get the ball rolling, get the pads on, I don't know who's going to stop us.
You mentioned the offensive line. Well, this is a recruiting show. One other guy on your team, Alex Anderson, has had a great offseason as well in terms of bringing in some Division I offers. What is it about Alex from your guys' perspective that makes him such a special player and a Division I level player?
He's just he's a big kid, obviously, but just his strength. I mean, he gets after it in the weight room. He's getting really strong, keeps getting bigger every time I see him. But right now, in my opinion, it's just his strength. I mean, I don't know many other linemen that are as strong and as powerful as he is.
Now, Christian, you guys got a big-time move-in in JT Nettleton. Talk about JT a little bit. He's kind of a sleeper right now. Not a lot of guys really know about him, but in your experience so far, the time you've been with him, let's talk about his game.
When JT first moved to Saguaro, he came out once when we were out on the field working, and we got to see a little bit what he had to show on the football field, and we were all impressed. And then we didn't really see much of him because he plays baseball too, and all the thing we could hear was just JT's so fast. He's the fastest kid out there, and we're all just like, okay, maybe he's fast, blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, when he came out for spring ball, that kid can go. He's a real fast kid, tall, and we've watched some of his film too, and he just goes and gets after it, and I think he's going to help us out a lot this year.
Now, I want you guys to both boost each other a little bit. Luke, what makes Christian the top recruit in the 2015 class?
I mean, one thing that really sticks out in my mind, he goes both ways, and I don't think there's another player like him in probably the country that can be, excellent on offense and then just be just as excellent on defense. But definitely, things that white out. I'll throw him up a ball. I mean, he's not the tallest guy, obviously, but he'll go and get it. Just like the power that he goes up and gets the ball with. I've never seen anything like it. But I mean, all the little things in his game. It all adds up to one really good football player.
And Christian, same to you about Luke. What makes him a Cal Bear Pac-12 type quarterback?
I mean, like everybody says, you're not going to find an athlete like that at quarterback. I mean, the kid, anything he does, he's the best at it. I mean, he goes to basketball, golf. He's good at everything, and he's a competitor. I mean, most competitive kid I've ever met. I mean, sometimes we do get into it, but you want a kid like that. You want a kid that everything he does, he wants to go out and win. And, I mean, I don't know who's going to stop him this year because a dual threat quarterback and a kid that's smart and knows how to make his reads, I mean, it's just unstoppable.
Well, that has to do it. That does it. This is Luke Rubenzer, Christian Kirk, Jason Jewell. I'm Jared Cohen on this special edition of the Recruiting Roundup. The Saguaro SaberCats expect to be very big-time contenders this season, as they always are, and it has a lot to do with these two guys. Guys, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you next time on the Recruiting Roundup on ProsToPreps.com.